Okay, we're live.
They're extending the tornado warning to Henrietta, just to the west of
Chakota.
I was wondering.
Sorry, Chakota. I only know that again.
After that,
Hold on. All right, everyone. We continue to watch thunderstorms erupt to our west. Very large hail with a storm that's west of Delaware County. We do have storm spotters on the scene. In fact, we've got James Hilger, who's located just to the east of this cell. Here's a look at Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler, and the stream has started. This is probably going to be a long-lived streaming of severe weather potential. So first of all, we already have a storm that's producing some hail on the north side of Delaware County, just to the west of Southwest City. Then you'll notice here that we've got large hail over 3 inches in diameter, 3.6 to be exact. That's possible in the area where you can see James Hilger just to the west. Got Zach Gilday, Peyton Langford, Josh Weisel, and Wyatt. We're all here ready to watch these storms and continue to track them for you. The severe weather threat looks like it's coming to fruition. This is something that we were concerned about the last couple of days. Tornado watch is imminent for Northwest Arkansas. We'll hear the weather radio go off very soon. You'll notice too that the storms are producing very sizable hail. So let's check this out here as we look at Hall Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. And I'm also going to bring this up on weather too. So let me do this real fast, and we'll be able to show James Hilger's stream at the same time. So here we look at Hall Heating Cooling Mega Doppler looking off to the west with this storm as we bring it up on weather 2. Here's a look at that stream along with the storm that's moving into the area of Delaware County. So tagged flats, your guys are going to be impacted. We're going to do some tracks on this. We'll let you know exactly where this is headed. Now we can tell you guys where this storm is going to be located. So let's do a little split screen here. Let's do a 2-panel. I'll put the hail on one side of the screen because that looks to be the predominant threat at this point. And you got the thunderstorm. So severe thunderstorm warning is going for another 32 minutes. Right now, the time is approximately 1:27. We're going to have severe weather move into Delaware County already at this time. What time will it hit Northwest Arkansas? Well, since this goes until about 2 o'clock, it looks like it's going to start nudging into Northwest Arkansas by about 2 o'clock this afternoon. There's already a storm, too, that's beginning to blossom and become severe. This is located, as you can see, in eastern and northeastern Delaware County. So a lot of storms. We've got a lot of people watching different things at the same time. You can see all of our spotters in Northwest Arkansas ready to watch these storms. Another isolated storm that's popping up that could develop some large hail. In fact, it's already close to golf ball size. It's 1.44, so we're talking ping pong size hail. And that storm is just in its infant stages. So if we put this into motion, I'm going to take a lot of this stuff off the screen because we've got a lot of lines showing up. We got a lot of the watch. You'll see the watch coming out very, very soon. But there's a look at the severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, one thing you'll notice with the severe thunderstorm warnings is you see that black line that's outlining the warning. This means it's a considerable severe thunderstorm warning for the potential for 2.5-inch hail, which is tennis ball size. Again, James Hilger located on this storm. And there you can get to see it just off to the east of this supercell. And he's going to be in perfect position as this storm comes in. Zach, let's do a storm track on this. I know you're building your show here. Just let me know when we got a storm track on this cell on Weather 1, and we'll switch to that source. But want to bring up his stream full so you guys can see that as well. So we'll take a look at, again, on Weather 2. We'll bring up his stream full. Here's a look at James Hilger's stream looking off to the west. You can see that isolated cell. What's interesting is that's 4x3. That's not 16x9. I might need to let him know that.
Yeah.
That does not take up the whole screen. But that's the severe thunderstorm that's to the west. So if we go to our Weather 1 source, I'll take a look at that here. Frankie Shepard. All right. Yeah, we'll answer that here. Hey, what's up, Frankie? We're Facebook Live, and what you doing? Okay. Where are you guys at? Okay. James Hilger is on this storm that's located in Delaware County that's moving east, and it's got a very sizable hail core, 2.5 inches, tennis balls.
East-northeast of Tulsa.
Yep, that's the one east-northeast of Tulsa, just to the west of Concord right now.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look here.
You also got that one down there near Salazar, like playing that middle ground.
Yep. Now we can start looking at some future tracks here. So here's what we're going to do.
They're coming for Sequoia County.
All right. So a new severe thunderstorm warning going to be issued for this cell that's west of Salazar. So let's bring that up on Mega Doppler. Now, Zach is doing a storm track on this. Get that severe thunderstorm warning off of there. I think you're in the wrong one. Go to palettes and go into INX sweep. There you go.
Just about to get.
Then we can draw the track.
Okay. I thought we were about to get the tornado watch extended into the Arkansas counties, but nothing just yet. They did extend the tornado watch for the Oklahoma counties in the western part of our coverage area through 9 p.m.
Okay. All right. So through 9 p.m., they extended the watch, and a new watch is going to easily be coming out. So if you're wondering who's going to be impacted by the storm, here's a track for you guys. So we're looking at this storm that's coming towards Southwest City, which is in southwestern McDonald County, Sulphur Springs, the northern side of Benton County. So Bella Vista is going to be impacted most likely by this storm, unless that warning takes a little bit of a turn. No, the warning does not include Siloam Springs. There you got a new storm warning that just came out, and now you got more warnings that are being issued. So Frankie, keep me updated. Are you guys, are you and Zach storm chasing at the same time? Okay. All right. All right. Well, I got to run here, but keep me updated. Let me know if you got anything of significance to watch. Okay. Sounds good, man. All right. Appreciate it. Later. All right. So that's Frankie Shepard, one of our storm spotters. So now we got multiple people that can stream, though. We'll take a look at that. So there's a look at the storm. I'm going to take the camera off the screen. We're not important right now in terms of seeing our faces. You got to see the radar in its full capacity. So here's a look at the storm that's severe. It does include Delaware County, as you can see, until 2 o'clock. Benton County is not, I repeat, not at this moment under a severe thunderstorm warning. That could change in a few minutes, though, as this storm makes its way eastward. You'll notice that the predominant threat for these storms is 2.5-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning, which is this storm that blossomed and popped up in eastern Delaware County. That's moving into McDonald County. We're going to go through that warning right here. And you'll notice that we've got 1.75 for golf ball hail. That just started to develop. So it looks like the watch is coming out here real soon. We're going to see that. There's a tornado warning that's to the west of that. And you can see that storm by Eufaula. That is not in our weather coverage area, but it shows you what these storms are going to be capable of. So people are saying that the watch is out, and we will be getting the notification here very soon with the weather radio. Guerrilla hail is imminent. As Josh Rugger says, guerrilla hail is not out of the question. Here's a look at the latest. So we got a new severe thunderstorm warning now for Adair. There's a look at the tornado watch as the weather radio just went off, and Josh just turned that off. So there's a look at the tornado watch that's in effect. We knew that was coming for Arkansas, and we already have that.
Colby Ward's headed towards that Siloam.
Okay.
That cell headed towards Tahlequah.
All right.
So, you know.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Cameras to the west.
Good deal. All right. So there's the tornado watch until 9 o'clock. Basically, Allison, guerrilla hail is something that Reed Timmer coined. It's a very descriptive phrase that basically sounds like hail pounding like a chest of a gorilla. And that's essentially what we're looking at, some really, really large hail potential.
Okay, yeah, they extended the watch.
Yeah, we got it on here right now. And there you get to see the watch. So tornado watch is including, as I zoom out a little bit more, you can see all the areas. It's basically our entire weather coverage area except for our eastern weather counties. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's just the storms are going to get there later. So there's also the potential for tornadoes in Boone, Newton, Johnson, Logan, and Scott counties. It's just not under a watch at the moment because the storms are initially moving into areas that are farther west. So I hope that makes sense, and we continue to watch out. Let's put another storm track on this. That's what people are wanting to know, where these storms are headed and who's going to be impacted. So initially, we've got storms that are north of Jay, and moving into, as you can tell, they're going to be moving to the northeast. They're moving northeast at about 35 miles an hour. And that storm will be missing Pineville. And Anderson will probably get clipped. When we work our way south, multiple other warnings are coming out now. Got a severe thunderstorm warning until 2 o'clock, so another 25 minutes. This is for Delaware County. Oddly enough, I was just at Mosley schools and telling them be looking for storms on Thursday. And if we do a track on this, let's take a look at the latest track. and we'll show you where this storm is headed. So there's that severe thunderstorm warning. We'll zoom out. We also have new severe thunderstorm warnings that will likely be extended into our Washington County area. So there's the most dangerous portion of the storm. That track is moving northeast at about 35 over the next hour and a half. These are the areas that are going to be most likely impacted. So Maysville, which makes sense because that's northwest Benton County, grab it. Sulphur Springs, Hiwassee, Bella Vista, and Bentonville. If we put this into motion, you'll notice these storms popping up and moving eastward, and that is going to be impacting northern and northwestern Benton County with 2.5-inch hail potentially, which is tennis ball size. Centerton is not included in that warning. There will most likely be an additional warning. You've got storms that are popping up that are west of northwest Arkansas. This is an isolated cell that's starting to develop. Severe thunderstorm warning goes until 2 o'clock. That is for central Adair County, and that is a radar indicated quarter-size hail potential. Mega Doppler also pinpointing these hail cores very, very clearly. Make sure you continue to watch that storm spotter, James Hilger, because he's on this storm. We'll go back to a one panel here, and we'll take a look at this on the radar. So we got multiple storm spotters that are tracking these storms all across northwest Arkansas. Michael Craddock, James Hilger, who is almost right in the path of this storm. And it looks like he's even got some structure that's starting to show up.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that. We'll bring up that stream here. And so in order to do that, we're going to look at, let's bring up the Mega Doppler stream. So this is a look at the hail size. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down here on Mega Doppler, and at the very bottom of the interactive palette, we can bring up James Hilger's stream. So there's a look at the structure. That's definitely got some supercell structure with it. And we're going to have to start doing most likely some weather coverage on TV. Right now, we're initially doing this on Facebook Live, just so everybody has an idea what's coming in. And once these storms start translating into northwest Arkansas, which is going to be a possibility, tornadoes are on the table. Matt, I know you're asking about tornado potential. Tornado watch has been issued for the entire northwest Arkansas area, except for our far eastern counties. And so the storm that's coming into Gentry does look like it's pretty stout. In fact, as we go back to our stream here, Mega Doppler, along with James Hilger, one of our storm spotters, you can see his location right there as he's located just to the northwest of Colcord on 59, waiting for this storm to approach. You got something, Josh? You want to let me know? I know you're always looking at behind the scenes stuff.
Looks like that hail might be ramping up if there's just a little bit of those higher velocity winds right near the core.
Yeah.
So that might be trying to reproduce 2.5 again.
So we're looking at potentially larger hail that could be developing. The storm's kind of cycling. Additional severe thunderstorm warnings that are to the southwest. And if we put them in motion, you'll notice that they are moving basically right towards Washington County. So I know a lot of you are asking about what time these storms are moving in. Well, now you got an idea. They are going to be here, as we feared, a little bit before the 3 o'clock time frame. So yes, this is going to be impacting areas of northwest Arkansas. And right now, it's not quite there yet, but close to rumbling for sure.
Should I get mics?
Yes, we got it at Mike's.
We finally got the Springfield sounding. There's a little bit of a Cape Robber.
Yeah, and the shear doesn't look so good there. So it's too tough to say exactly when there's going to be a break from Fayetteville to Paris, enough of a break in storms. We're just not good. We're just not that good. It's impossible to do. You just got to look at the radar before you head out. There's going to be a lot of storms that are going to be all across the area. This is just a very highly conducive environment to thunderstorm potential. There you get to see that tornado watch. So let's recap here. I don't know. And you guys know this because it's too tough to say exactly what cities are going to be impacted. Please understand that. Don't ask about specific cities because we can't do that until there's actually a storm that's tracking in the direction with a warning. Then we can tell you exactly where the storms are headed. But 2 hours out, when there's not even a lot of development over the northwest Arkansas area,
Hey, do you think
that's
stuff's going to start
impossible to say.
splitting?
Yeah, that one
That-
storm
that-
to the south.
Yeah, this might
split.
Okay.
right turn.
So let's go ahead and we'll look at this here.
That right cell has got a better hail core to it.
Yeah, let's get some mics. So I'll take mic 3 like I normally do. So right here, 1A. I'll take 3B just so the audio engineer is typically used to that. Rumbling in Bella Vista already. Looks like the hail core is kind of dropping down. So hopefully that remains the case. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a wide view of everything that's going on, just to get you in the know of what is exactly happening. So we'll start off with, first of all, a very wide view.
I think Chloe's gonna get in position to be on,
On
the right
that,
mover.
on that cell. Okay.
Yeah. He's headed back towards Fayetteville, probably gonna dip east.
All right. So we're going to bring this up on Weather 2 as we're bringing up microphones. This is a look at the current activity. This is the satellite radar. Tornado watch, including Northwest Arkansas. Yeah, James Hilger is right on that storm. So let's go ahead and we'll go back to Mega Doppler. You can see the storms, all of our storm trackers. Let's go here. Is that on Weather 1? That's on Weather 1. Oh, yeah, there's a look at that cell. So this gives you an idea of the structure.
Which one's that?
James Hilger.
James Hilger located on that storm, looking towards the hail core in that isolated
Yeah.
cell, and you can obviously see a little bit of structure as well.
Maybe not put his name in kind of where he's at. If you want to show that.
Unfortunately, he might not be able to call into the phoner line because it's going to hang him up.
Yeah, and on the radar too, there's starting to be a whole lot more lightning strikes with that storm just to the north of.
Oh yeah, explosive thunderstorm development, as we mentioned.
All right, Chloe's gonna hang out on 412. Ryan Limray is hanging in Tawny Town right now.
All right.
So boys are activated. On the move.
You can see him zooming in on that. And so this is James Hilger that's located on this storm. If we bring up his stream.
You gotta go to severe.
Yeah.
Let's go to severe.
Yeah, let's do this here.
You can just open it up.
Content library. Yeah, I will.
It's starting to. It's not impressive, but
So that's live storm spotter video from James Hilger. And he's located in Delaware County, just north of Kansas, as that cell starts coming his way. Definitely looks like an HP supercell from what I'm seeing in terms of the structure. What we'll do is we'll take his full stream off of there. And we'll go back to radar. We'll make that without a super on there. All right. So Fayetteville, Arkansas, yes, Fayetteville is going to be impacted. Every single place has the potential. Oh, and look, they actually made it destructive for the warning tag. Did you see that?
Just upgraded to destructive.
So destructive storm. What does this mean? It means a potential for baseball size hail as well as 80-mile-an-hour winds. So pretty intense storm. If we look at the actual tags for this storm, we're going to go back to it. I'm going to show you 2.75 baseball hail with that cell. Go back here, bring up Mega Doppler stream so we can look at that. There's a look at the destructive severe thunderstorm tag. So that's an enhanced severe thunderstorm. You can see the different outline of it. And when we go to, so you can see that thunderstorm. That's pretty intense. There are additional storms that are popping up. We're just putting some microphones on right now, getting ready for television coverage. Delaware County kind of on the outskirts of our weather coverage area, but that's why we're doing this Facebook Live to start our severe weather coverage. Definitely a wall cloud with that. You can see the structure. Peyton, you can point it out with the cursor on the screen. I'm going to bring this up full here. And that is very impressive structure. So
Yeah.
right in that region, in the middle of the screen, is what we have. It's called a lowering. Lowering is where you have rapidly rising air that causes a pressure difference, which lowers the cloud base, which is exactly what you're seeing right there, along with the hail core that's
Which you
off
can
in the
see
distance.
right here, that kind of glowing blue-green color, going green.
Yep.
It's a good question right there. Kids get out Bella Vista 2:30.
I know
That's
they got out
coming.
in Rogers. They're letting on Rogers.
That's coming right at them.
Yeah.
And that's 2.75-inch hail. So
Yep.
that's life threatening.
I mean, we mentioned this, and we mentioned the issue that this could be right during school and school letting out, and it looks like this is coming to fruition.
I know with at least Bentonville, they did mention the risk of,
Springdale was asking about letting out. They actually
Oh,
are going
no.
to keep the buses behind.
Rogers is regular times.
Farmington, the school's dismissing it too.
Short
So
down.
here's a look at the different hail sizes, and then we want to get back to a track because we had a question on here on the timeline and when the storms are moving in. So we're going to look at that. But make sure you keep watching those streams because we're bouncing around and we don't want to miss something. So baseball, humans and animals seriously endangered, paving stones pitted, windshields broken. It's some pretty sizable hail.
Yeah, so if your car's outside, definitely get that undercovered parking right now. Even just put a piece of cardboard over that windshield.
That's a good idea. Bubble wrap too. Someone said they were wrapping their car in
if
bubble
you-
wrap.
If you got it.
So again, going back to Mega Doppler, here's a look at that storm. On weather one, Zach, let's do a storm track on this so we can see exactly where this storm is headed and continue to keep that updated.
I'm just going to change it over to weather severe.
Yeah, change it over.
Severe thunderstorm warning, Sequoia County canceled.
So it looks like that cell is weakened a little bit. The cell that's southwest of Stillwell, I don't see that cell taking off quite as much.
Yeah, they canceled it.
Okay. So that warning's canceled.
Yep.
And it looks like this hail is starting to lessen too. It could be dumping its hail core. Look at the tail cloud that's starting to form though. Watch this. I'll show you what I mean. So there's a look at how heating, cooling, Mega Doppler, all of our storm spotters that are out on the scene.
Yeah, you can definitely see the tail cloud starting to form.
Yep. And tail cloud represents a low level rotation beginning to increase. So that's always a possibility. So I can bounce back and forth to Mega Doppler and this stream just to show you. So here's a look at, wow, that is a supercell right there.
There's
So
a little tail cloud.
What you're looking
starting
at
to
on
get a hook
the
on
right
that.
side of that tail cloud is an inflow band.
Yep.
And starting to hook a little bit. Raining in Springdale. That makes sense, Marissa, because there is a little bit of isolated shower activity that's popped up. You already know where all the storm spotters are. I'm going to take them off of the screen here for a little bit. But there you can see that little bit of light rain that's popping up. Now that could develop into an additional storm. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Now I wonder, how's the Decatur camera? We might be able to see that looking off in the distance. Gravit's camera's down, so it's not working.
you could maybe look at,
Oh,
the
yeah, you
ridges.
can see it a little bit. So that's looking west. Zoom in right on that. Let me show you the importance of being in the proper location. So here's a look at a storm spotter that's on the storm. And then when we look at this, it just shows you can't really see much because there's just so much contrast troubles in order to see it. So that's the importance of being close to the storm. Here's a look off to the west. All right. So you can see that. You can kind of see some of the structure just a little bit. We'll continue to watch that. All right. Here's a new track. Zach's got it. Take us through that track.
All right, so the hail core is at the center of that system, and that's definitely producing some life-threatening hail. So if you're in the vicinity of this cone, make sure to get prepared for this storm. Get your car inside. You do not want to be in the path of this, and it's going to be it's sped up a little bit right now, 35 miles per hour to the northeast. So it's going to be in the area of Sycamore at around 205. Beyond that, Bella Vista 248. So you mentioned that dismissal of school around 2:30. Was that what it was? So, yeah, you definitely might want to think about getting your kids early because you do not want to be in the path of the storm. It's going to destroy your car with that hail. And we're seeing a little hook on it too. So we're definitely watching this storm. Beyond that, it should be out of the area by around 3:30 and might be moving into our other counties. So
It's got some decent mid-level rotation. I was just looking at that.
yeah. So we're looking at that. Again, it's a destructive, severe thunderstorm. So that's life-threatening.
What about Siloam Springs? Siloam Springs at the moment is going to miss this storm. It's going to be south of the storm. Siloam, you can see it on the screen, and there's no storm, but there is additional storm activity to the southwest that's still severe that could be making its way into the region. So if you pan down just a little bit, Zach, you can get to see that other storm. So yeah, there still is some storm activity that's moving in, but the real dangerous thunderstorm is going to be missing the Siloam Springs area. We are under a tornado watch. Absolutely.
There's still a lot to go.
There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of storms. There's a lot of fuel for thunderstorms. And we're just going to have to endure this. We'll continue to watch it. So now we got a good look at the hail core that's coming in. Here's a look at Hyle Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. See that milky white? That does look like it's kind of outflow dominant, if you ask me.
Yes.
I would say that is not tornado potential at the moment. It's outflow dominant. That doesn't mean that the storm couldn't cycle, but it is something that we're watching. If it right turns, it's going to be impacting more of Bentonville.
Reports of nickel-sized hail in Tahlequah or in the Quad.
All right. In Tahlequah. That's that small cell that even has
Yeah.
nickel size.
It's got a new severe storm warning.
So yeah, it looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they're expanding the one into Benton County.
There it is.
There it is.
We'll click on this. There's the newest one, and it is tornado possible. It's 2.75 inch hail, which is baseball size. And now Bentonville is included in the warning. So if the storm right turns, which it does appear maybe it is doing, yes, it is. It's right turning. I bet you this is going to start tornadoing now. If it right turns, you have a better chance. Now, what do I mean by right turning? Well, if you look at the storm that's tracking northeast, do we have a director in the studio
I think
yet?
Charles is back there.
Okay. Might want to start thinking about doing coverage. So initially it was moving kind of northeast, as you see the track. Then over time, that track now has turned a little bit more easterly as it gets rooted in what's called the boundary layer. It becomes surface based. So now it's tracking a little bit more to the east. And if you look, that does take it over northern Benton County. And that's why that severe thunderstorm warning now does include Benton County. And it's basically central and western Benton County. So we got some very large hail, 2.75 baseballs. That's why we went over that size. Brian Empfinger is located where? Fittstown.
No clue.
Okay. 2.87. The storm has increased in intensity again. Want to continue to watch because James Hilger is going to be on it. And he's literally at the place where the hail core is, and he's going to get impacted by the hail core. Look at that milky white. So that tells you right there that there's the hail core coming. Bring this up full. James Hilger's stream. Look at the wind picking up. We're about to see some hailstones falling from the sky too. But he's not scared of hail. He's got a grill. His car is covered in rhino lining. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Heck yeah.
yeah.
Low level rotation increasing a little bit.
Yep. And he's going to be on this. He'll be tracking it east of Colcord. Thankfully, that storm is missing Mosley schools.
That inflow really starting to pick up.
Yeah.
You know, I was just seeing on the stream before it just moved to the part of the screen we can't see, but you can really see that tail cloud really just a lot of forcing upward motion.
So Zach is on, go back to Megadop. You had it right there. Live radar winds. You can see the circulation beginning to unfold just to the northwest of Colcord. P Ridge is way east of this storm as of now. So P Ridge, we do have you covered. We've got a storm spotter, Alex Hall, that's in the P Ridge area. Nothing is happening right now. If you can see where the storms are, here's a look at the large hail core. Let's take you through some of this stuff. Boy, that circulation's really starting to ramp up.
8 air severe dropped.
Okay. We'll look at the norm NROT. There's the
Starting to go a little
circulation
more. Might have
starting to
lost-
show
might have
up.
lost James.
Looks like his stream dropped. Makes sense whenever storms, whenever the worst of the weather is. So who's going to be impacted? Well, basically the entire weather coverage area has a chance of storms. Initially, now, if you hear if you hear your location, Decatur, Gravette, Hiwassee, Bentonville, maybe Gentry, that's maybe on the southern end, but Decatur for sure. Let's look at that Decatur WeatherBug Network camera, and we can see that cell off in the distance. Can't really see
Oh, we can see lightning now.
very impressive structure yet.
Okay, that's west.
Josh is saying inflow is legit, massive gorilla hail core.
Oh, there's some lightning.
Yep. So definitely a lot of lightning with this storm, which makes sense.
Is this weather 3 or is this the
It
camera
said
picking up?
Centerton too. Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warning includes Centerton. Yes. And we can hear the rumbles of thunder now outside already. Springtown's too far east at the moment. But this
Definitely see that hail core off in the
it's
distance.
gonna be a rough day. There's a circulation. We'll continue to watch this and see if it ramps up. Josh, are you you don't have a Slack, do you? NWS chat?
No.
No.
But I
Ooh,
can
there
check
was
it.
a big bolt right there.
I can check it on one of the other.
I mean, I'm
computers.
sitting
Yeah.
on it right now.
You're on it right now. Let's see if they talk about any rotation increasing
We're
on
holding it up
this.
here, too.
Yep.
Do you have it?
It's on there. Yep, right there.
No mention of it. I mean, other than other media, but no mention of it yet. Sure they will here in a little bit. Oh, James Hilger's back online.
Yeah, so you're looking at Decatur camera, looking west, and this is a destructive thunderstorm.
Now here's James Hilger actually in the storm. He's near the rear flank downdraft, so he's going to be seeing a lot of precipitation, not quite out ahead of it. It will go to Howe Heating and Cooling Mega Doppler. And you can see that's where he is, just near the strongest rotation. We'll take a look at the rotation real quick. Whoops. You see it's kind of weak, very low, but you go up a little bit and tilts in the radar beam. You can see there's some pretty decent mid-level rotation. Now, it is cycling, so it will strengthen here in a little bit. Just to show you that, if you go back, that's when it was a little bit stronger. You can see just going up and tilts a little bit. It will cycle a few times, but again, definitely watching it very closely. As you can see, the hook isn't as prominent. Again, it is cycling, I believe.
Yeah. So yeah, we're down to the lowest tilt. James is not quite in the hail core. The hail core is a little
Right.
north of him. I think what he's doing is he's getting south, so he can drive south and then get east on Highway 116. So that's what's happening right there. Now you might be wondering why we're not on TV yet. We're not on TV yet because the storm hasn't really crossed into Benton County. Once it gets closer, which is going to most likely happen, once it gets closer, then we are going to continue to watch the storm, but we're ready to go on TV to cover that for severe weather for those that don't have social media.
Here in a little bit, we'll have Colby
It's a little
Ward.
bit more of an easterly track. Yeah,
Get Colby Ward headed to Decatur.
you can see that. See how it's tracking east a little
Yeah,
bit
it's
more?
kinda turning
So
right.
it's turning right.
Yeah.
So there you go. Elaine, you just asked for a storm track, and there you go for that cell. So now you can get to see the areas that are going to be impacted. And we're going to zoom in on those so you know where you're going to be. So let's show you here. There you get to see Gravette. And what we'll do is we'll just move this a tiny bit so we get those get those cities back on there. Sulphur Springs, Bella Vista is going to be most likely impacted. We're watching the storm. Gentry is a little bit south of the most dangerous portion of the storm. So someone's asking about Gentry. At the moment, things are fairly quiet in Gentry because if you look, there's the cell. Look at that. Brandon Davis is in Gentry. There's a look at the cell moving eastward. And you can see how the circulation is going to be passing north of Gentry, in between Decatur and Gravette. But it does look like it's becoming more of a hail threat and not, at the moment, tornado potential. Still there, but like you mentioned, cycling. And that storm cycling sometimes will lead to, if it cycles, what did you say, 3 cycles?
3 cycles is
Yeah.
where the highest probability of a tornado occurring
All right.
out of all the other cycles.
So that's
All
why I
right.
said that.
From the Slack, local analysis shows low level shear pretty strong, 10 to 15 knots. It'll help keep that low level rotation pretty weak. But storm's looking a little bit more outflow dominant. Kind of agreed there. But still a favorable environment to maintain intensity as it moves into northwest Arkansas. Large hail still the greatest threat.
All right, so Rogers is probably not going to get the big hail core unless that storm tracks due east. But there's a look at Hall Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. And Maysville, Gravette going to be impacted. Sulphur Springs, Decatur is going to be a little south of the storm. I got to go give an update here to news. I'll be right back. Yep,
Okay.
I'm coming. Well, we got 2.5 inch tennis ball and baseball size hail right now about to move into Benton County.
2.75 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's baseball size.
Baseball sized hail.
Did you say Maysville?
Yeah.
That's where Alicia is at.
Yep. Okay.
Should let him know.
Yeah, big time hail. Better get a car under. Yep. Someone asked, wish you we would cut in on TV. We're doing that right about now as we're covering this storm. Yep. Okay, sounds good.
Make sure everything's turned on.
All right, everyone. So stand by. We're about to do some severe weather coverage here on television so we can get all avenues, social media, streaming, anything else. And then if people don't have social media, we can go ahead and we can talk about this on TV for those that really need to know about this storm, because you do need to know about it. It's a big hail core and it's moving into the northern side of wow, has that circulation increased dramatically?
A little bit.
Okay, so let's get on there. All right, stand by for continuous severe weather coverage very soon. We're not leaving here. This stream will continue. You can watch this, but we also are going to be on television. So stand
Just
by.
north of Colcord.
They're ready right now. Just gotta let them know.
Okay, good.
They're trying to check it in.
Turn right.
Yep.
I got you, Charles. I'm good. We're on. Hi, everyone. We've been providing severe weather coverage on streaming sources, but we've got Zach, Peyton. We also have our weather interns, Wyatt, Josh Weisel. New tornado warning just issued.
Yeah.
Right before we went on, we were streaming. We were talking about the circulation increasing. We do have storm spotters on the scene. You can see the video behind us. Let's get into it. We got to let people know where this storm is headed, who's going to be impacted. It is taking a little bit more of a southern track. If you're watching in Benton County, those are the areas that are really going to be impacted. So let's get to it and bring up Mega Doppler full. So first of all, there's the tornado warning. This is on weather 1. And so you can see the tornado warning along with the severe thunderstorm warning. And this goes until 2:30 in the afternoon. So 2:30 in the afternoon, we've got a tornado warning. This storm rotating rapidly and also even showed signs that perhaps maybe a little bit of debris could be getting kicked up. We have to check that out and continue to watch that. But we're going ahead and continue to track this storm. First of all, let's let you know exactly where this tornado is going to be headed. So what we're going to do is take off some of the warning information on here just so you can get a better idea and clear out that warning information. Here's a look at the most dangerous portion of the storm. It's heading in an eastward direction that is going to be moving towards Centerton and Bentonville. Here's a look at the areas that are going to be impacted and the times as well. We're at 2:06 right now, just to let you know. And that storm, as it moves eastward, 2:41 in Centerton, Bentonville at 2:48. We're continuing to monitor storm chasers. This, by the way, if we can bring up, that's going to be on
Colby
our Weather
Ward.
2 source. Colby Ward, I can
There's
tell
James Hilger.
he is in the Decatur area. So let's go ahead and we'll bring up the storm spotter stream. We'll let you know exactly where that storm is. And so we've got storm spotters that are covering this storm in every location, in every direction, and continuing to monitor. If you aren't able to watch on television, we are streaming our severe weather coverage, and we're doing that through Facebook. We're also doing it on our website, knwa.com. Just click on the weather tab, and you'll see the live weather stream. So this is Storm Spotter video located in eastern sections of Delaware County as the storm continues to track eastward. This is something that we're definitely going to be monitoring and watching. If we go back to Weather 1, you'll be able to see this storm as it moves to the east. Let's go to Weather 1 if we can, and we'll take a look at that isolated storm that's moving into the Benton County area. So we're going to continue to watch that. We're going to bring up here our Weather 2 source, and I'll be able to give you all the latest information on this. All right, so let's look at the circulation with this. It did start to ramp up, and also, too, my goodness, the hail core is very, very large potentially. We're talking about some really large hail with this storm, essentially. Look at that 4-inch hail that's possible. So some really, really large hail that we're going to be watching.
Yeah, I think the correlation coefficient might be dropping a little bit, so there might be some debris. I just looking at that.
Yeah, you were checking that out? Okay. Let's go ahead and we'll bring that up as well.
You can definitely see it dropping. It might be because of the hail and the heavy rains, but
all right, so let's go ahead and we'll bring up severe weather 2. We'll continue to launch that stream. I want to watch that. And so, yeah, we're looking at kind of a little bit of a messy signal. We want to let you know what to do in tornado safety. It's always what we talk about, duck, downstairs, under something, center a house, keep away from windows. A very important acronym in tornado safety. So there is a tornado warning in western Benton County that goes until 2:30, and that's going to continue for the next several minutes as that storm tracks to the east, and we'll continue to monitor it. All right, so we also have weather bug cameras too that are located in that region that we will continue to watch, and so all of this information is very important when we're talking about severe weather and severe weather potential. Okay, so back to our radar. Zach, on Weather 1, let's go ahead and we'll do a storm track on this. New warning just coming out as well. So we have a lot of information that's happening all at the same time with multiple storms that are popping up. I'm having a little trouble behind the scenes or working one of our radar computers. It's not loading the information properly, so we're just kind of letting you know exactly what's happening behind the scenes as we continue to monitor. Okay, we got it working now, finally, thankfully. Okay, so the circulation now is just beginning to approach eastern sections of Delaware County. This is very close to the area where I was located at talking to Mosley Schools, but this storm not only has a tornado potential, but very large hail is not out of the question. And so we're looking at, in fact, let's go ahead and we'll put the hail indication on. We're talking 3, 4 to possibly 5 inches of hail as we look at Hall Heating Cooling Mega Doppler. We're going to do this on Weather 2. So if we can bring up the source Weather 2, there you get to see the size of the hail. Sycamore, Maysville going to be impacted by that hail core. And this is, you can see the colors on the screen. If we go ahead and we bring up the hail track, there you get to see exactly what we're looking at. Baseball size hail and a large area of baseball size hail. We also have a new severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued as more information comes in. So that pops up on the screen where we're able to know exactly when a warning is issued. Now, we also have our WeatherBug network cameras that are located in the Decatur area. And if we take a look here at Decatur, this is a very good look at this storm that's approaching the area. So there's a look at the lowering. Not anything tornadic at the moment, at least visually. We know that there's a rotation that's beginning to increase a little bit, and we'll continue to monitor this storm. But this is the City Hall in Decatur, a little bit of a lowering along with a wall cloud that's off in the distance. We've got all those storm spotters. Peyton, if you see anything on those storm spotter feeds, let us know.
Yeah, you got it.
On Weather 1, we want to do a storm track, let you know exactly where this storm is headed. There's the most dangerous portion of the storm. Zach, take us through that track as it tracks through Benton County.
Yeah, Dan. So again, this is for Benton County. This is a tornado warning. So definitely, if you are in that red polygon, get to your safe place right now, because this is a life-threatening storm. We're seeing baseball-sized hail to the north of this, but this is the tornado warning track. So it is heading to the east at around 35 miles per hour. So if you are in the cities of Decatur, Centerton, Bentonville, Rogers, this is heading right towards you. So get to your safe place right this second. And this is a life-threatening storm. And we are seeing the imminent threat looks to be Decatur at around 226. So get to your safe place right now. Beyond that, you can see it taking an easterly path through Benton County. So, yeah, Dan, we're looking at this. The circulation definitely looks to be strengthening.
Yeah, if we can bring up Weather 2 full, I got to show you this. This is starting to show some pretty impressive structure. This is called a wall cloud off in the distance. And then there's also something known as a clear slot. Clear slot is a sign that the rear flank downdraft is beginning to wrap up the storm a little bit more, which is a sign that this storm could be even closer to producing a tornado. So this is Decatur looking west as we're looking at that storm that Zach was tracking. And you can see that enhanced lowering and also the bright spot that's showing up. I zoomed in on that. We're able to do this live here as we take a look at the storm. And let's go ahead and we'll look at James Hilger's stream. So there's that lowering. Contrast is a little bit tough to see as we're looking off in the rain in the distance. So let's bring up, you got that up on Weather 3, Peyton, James Hilger's stream, or Weather 2?
Weather 2.
All right, so we'll bring up Weather 2. Here's a look at James Hilger's stream. You can see what we call the whale's mouth of the storm off of the distance. And right now, James Hilger's located as he's tracking this storm into western Benton County. He's been on this since the storm has developed. Now, we do have additional storms that are popping up west of northwest Arkansas, but the most dangerous storm and the tornado warning is that storm that's in northwestern Benton County. And here's a look at that storm. Stream kind of dropping in and out just a little bit just because of the storm and what we're experiencing. So going back to that track, the most dangerous portion of the storm, and I think the circulation might be a little bit farther south, Zach, on that storm as we check out Mega Doppler. And, yeah, we're looking at the circulation kind of wrapping up a little bit, just now approaching the western side of Decatur. I'm going to go ahead and start recording Decatur's weather camera too, so we can have that and be ready for that as we're watching that storm come through. So a little bit of gusty winds too. Maysville now getting a very large hail core coming through. Tornado warning until 2:30 for this storm, along with what we call destructive severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're talking over baseball size hail, baseball and larger, not out of the question with this cell. Here's a look at Mega Doppler. What you're looking at here is basically the areas of rotation with this storm. So these green colors right here, with the radar being located at just to the east of Tulsa and Inola, this is your area of rotation that's going towards the radar, and it's going really quickly when those colors brighten up. The farther south you go, you got red colors. Those are rain and hydrometeors in the storm that are moving away from the radar. And when that happens very close together, that's where you have your potential circulation. Now, we were looking at the lowering and the wall cloud almost due west of Decatur. That was that area of circulation. Let's go back to, do we still have that storm spotter stream?
I got something even better.
Okay.
Got a photo from Gentry.
Take it away. So if you can bring that up, and that on Weather 2.
Yeah, Weather 2.
All right. So here's a look at the storm that's coming in, and that is from the Gentry area. So that's a little bit south of the storm, looking to the northwest, and you can definitely see that hail core off in the distance. So an impressive storm. All right. Thank you, Peyton. Peyton's continuing to monitor our chat, our NWS chat too, which is a direct connection to the National Weather Service out of Tulsa. So we're going to go back to this storm, looking at the wide view, tracking this storm. Elm Tree, Artist Ann Middle School, Bentonville. You've got Little Flock, all those areas on the north side of Benton County. Now, Siloam Springs, a lot of people asking about that on the stream. That is going to be south of the dangerous portion of the storm. But, man, some massive hail about to move into. In fact, we can check out that hail core moving into northwestern Benton County. And we're talking baseballs. Baseballs, that's some pretty sizable hail that can do quite a bit of damage and can also injure people and pets and animals, too. So
I got that hail core up on Mega Doppler, Dan.
Okay, we'll take a look here at Mega Doppler, and we'll look at that hail core. And this is going to be on Weather 2. So we're going to switch sources. There you can see the most dangerous portion of the storm. This is such a large hail core, too, Zach. One of the things we were watching these storms, sometimes they produce just a little bit of small hail in a small located area, but this is actually quite a bit. And so there's that very large hail. How large are we talking about over Maysville? Looks like if you're rolling over that, we're looking at baseball and possibly over 3 inches. Not out of the question, which is what that warning is. So continuing to watch that, we'll go back to our Decatur WeatherBug Network camera if we can. And I'm going to do that here as we look at Howley and Cooling Mega Doppler. The rain is coming down. So that's the end of that viewing that we had of the storm. Can't see it anymore. If we look to the north, you can see those winds really starting to pick up, obviously. But that's it. That's the end of the viewing. And that's what makes it difficult when you're storm spotting. You got to be ahead of the storm. So now we're going to look at a different storm, the Bentonville Fulbright Junior High. And we can bring this up. And there's a look at that cell, again, that's coming towards Bentonville. Now it's obviously a different story. You don't have the heavy rain that's coming down in the cell that's located just to the southwest of Fulbright as we continue to monitor that storm. I'm going to go ahead and bring that camera up full. And we'll be able to move that just to the southwest, which is where that lowering is associated with. So this is what we're going to be watching. We always want to keep an eye on the radar because these storms can cycle. They can ramp up quick, and that can lead to very, very rapid development in a storm, which, by the way, it looks like it's taking place, Zach. You can see those fast winds moving away from the radar. If things start brightening up towards the radar, that's where that circulation could be really ramping up. All right, let's go to Prod PC, and we'll take a look at the winds picking up. And this is a really good visual as we look at that weather camera, and you can see the way the flags are moving. So these storms will have all 3 threats possible. We're talking about damaging hail up to baseball size, even potentially larger. Also destructive winds up to 60, 70 miles an hour. And then finally the hail core that's definitely associated with that storm in the northwest portion of Benton County. So you can see some of the storm spotters too. We got Frankie Shepard that's located on the storm just to the north of Decatur. And as Zach does the latest track, we want to let you know exactly where that storm is headed. Now, Zach, you might be able to do just a little bit wider of a track instead of just the tornado track.
Okay.
Just because the circulation is a little wider. So we'll take a little bit wider of a track, and we'll look at that storm as it tracks across northern Benton County. So severe thunderstorm warning until 2:30. Yeah, there you get a little bit of a wider view to let you know where that storm is headed. So there you go. And keep in mind, on the north side of this too, you'll still encounter a little bit of hail potential. But there you see the areas that are impacted as Zach takes you through the track of that storm.
Yes, this is a tornado warning. So this storm is capable of producing a tornado. We have radar indicated rotation with this, and we have baseball-sized hail. So definitely, if you were in the path of the storm, get to your safe place. The storm is producing life-threatening hail, and the potential for a tornado is definitely there. So looking at that track, take that full screen. We're going to be seeing this passing right through Benton County. So right now, just north of Decatur for that circulation, and it's going to be making its way east. So we're seeing Bentonville by around 243. So it's going to be ripping through Benton County at around 35 miles per hour, making its way to the east. So definitely gets a plan ready. We're tracking this tornado warning, and that's going to expire, but that might be extended. So we're definitely watching that one. Beyond that, P Ridge by around 253. So storm, the rotation is not quite as tight as what it was earlier, but we're still tracking that hail and we're still looking at it because Dan, this might cycle. We're taking a deep dive at this, and we could probably look at that velocity, seeing what's happening with that.
Yeah, exactly. We got that on weather too. We can look at the exact areas of rotation. Remember, we showed you the greens and the red colors, but this gives you an idea where that circulation is. And I would say that the rotation has definitely decreased a little bit, but as Zach just mentioned, it could cycle, it could strengthen again. So this is what we call the rotation indication, and the blue represents a little bit of rotation. Nothing at this point that's too concerning of immediate tornado potential, but the environment that we have, the instability that we have, the wind shear that's in place, these storms could ramp up pretty quickly and develop. So there's some of the look at the velocity data. When we go back to, again, the reflectivity, this is a very, very large hail core. Unfortunately, our WeatherBug network camera at Gravit is down. We tried to get that back up and running, but weren't able to get that connected. But Gravit is going to be impacted by that hail core as it continues to track across the northwestern side of Benton County. Bella Vista is also going to be impacted, and we do have a camera that's located in the Bella Vista area as we're monitoring these storms. Now, what about the wider view? You know, we have a lot of people that are watching, not just in Benton County, but if we take a little bit of a wider view, there are additional storms. Thankfully, they're not the isolated supercells. We do have a little bit of activity that's popping up. We can take the storm spotters off of there, by the way, too. We know that we obviously have them covered, and they're all over northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. But there's a look at all of the activity that still has to move in. And look at how Fort Smith and Scott County and Logan County, which is under a tornado watch, by the way, with LaFleur County. Scott County is not, but Sebastian is, as well as LaFleur. There's no storms right now. And that means that things are still like heating up. The atmosphere is heating up, and that could lead to additional storms. So just wanted to give you a wide view, additional storms coming in, but they're not severe into Washington County. The most dangerous storm is that isolated cell that still is prompting tornado potential. However, I think this is going to be dropping off by about 2:30 as that warning does allow to expire. And there's that area of circulation. We'll continue to monitor that and watch that. I'll bring up that WeatherBug network camera from the Bella Vista area as we monitor this storm and give you an idea of what's ahead. So there's a look at, looks like a tornado warning been updated. So let's go ahead and we'll maybe see what's going on there. Zach, what's the newest update on that? Looks like they continue.
Pulling it up right now.
Okay, there it is. Tornado warning issued until 3 o'clock. So this has been extended. The original warning goes until 2:30. Again, the rotation's still enough and the environment's still enough where this could cycle and it could strengthen pretty rapidly. And that's why the Weather Service prompting another tornado warning and allowing this to be a little bit farther north. See how it doesn't include XNA and Heifel? That's a little bit north of the warning is a little north of that location. Bentonville, Rogers, those areas are impacted. North side of Rogers, that's where that tornado warning is located. And we could go back to our mega Doppler source and give you an idea of that tornado warning. Let's show you some of the cities that are going to be impacted in this. So Hiwassee, going to be potentially impacted. Again, take your tornado precautions. Downstairs under something, center a house, keep away from windows. And that's what we're going to bring up on the screen right here. There you see downstairs under something, center a house, keep away from windows. This is a great acronym for tornado safety. It's really easy to remember. You want to get as low as you possibly can. Right now, the circulation still is not super strong, but it is still there, and we do have to monitor it and watch it. Any reports coming out of NWS chat, Peyton?
Just some 1-inch hail, but we got a great view from the Bentonville Midtown Square. You can really see the hail core, and of course, the rain with it too.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll bring that up. And do you have that loaded up on Weather 3?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll bring up Weather 3 full and give you an idea of what that looks like. There you get to see, that's looking off to the west, southwest, I believe. And that bluish hue that you see off of the distance, that's the storm that has that severe weather potential, that has that large hail core. So, and if you look to the northwest of Bentonville, you'll see the sky darkening as well. So Big time storm, new severe thunderstorm warning just got issued. So we'll bring up, if we can, bring up weather 2. And we'll go back to this. There's a look at the new severe thunderstorm warning. That is for southwest Missouri. That includes McDonald County, Anderson, Goodman, and Knoll is going to be impacted by that storm. Golf ball size hail. So that's on the northern edge of the most dangerous portion of that storm. Something tells me we really got to watch that area of rotation as it tracks across northern Benton County, just because the storm's kind of cycling, but it could ramp up pretty quickly and continue to intensify. So tornado warning now until 3 o'clock. Other warning is going to expire here soon. Another severe thunderstorm warning just getting issued. So a lot of warnings being issued now, and this probably will be in the River Valley, and it is. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning that is including, you can see some of the areas, Cherokee, Mays, Muskogee, Wagner. Basically every storm along this line has the potential to be severe, and that's in the southern portion of Delaware County, and then extends into northwestern Adair County, and then back to the southwest. So that's that new warning. We'll continue to watch this circulation and this rotation with this storm. A couple things that we can do. We can bring up something called rotation tracks. This will kind of show you over time what the storm has looked like in terms of its rotation. It was a little stronger as it was approaching Decatur, and then it definitely weakened a little bit. So there's a look at rotation, just not really showing up. But if we look at a rotation track, this will give you an idea of where that 1 hour rotation track showed up. And there you get to see it moving into the Maysville area. Also a little bit of that rotation track that was approaching Decatur. Remember, we were looking at the wall cloud. You can see the clear slot. Those are all signs that the storm is rotating a little strong. But notice how it drops off. But still, because of the environment and the potential for severe weather, that's why they still have that tornado warning that's still in effect. So big cluster of storms. There you get to see the baseball size hail. That's a threat. That's in northern sections of Benton County. That does include the cities of Bella Vista, Bentonville, and the Centerton area. Although I think the largest hail core will be a little north. Yes, sir. We got Peyton. Yeah, Peyton.
Yeah, we got a report of baseball-sized hail in Gravette.
Okay. Not surprised by that. Let's take a look here at Mega Doppler. And that's coming out on NWS chat, right?
Correct.
All right. So we'll bring up Mega Doppler. And we'll bring up the hail core. So it looks like the hail core kind of dumped itself. If you go back a little bit, you can see the hail was suspended in the atmosphere. It was a lot larger. There it is. And the hail core is dumping right on Gravette. So baseball size hail now reported in Gravette. What that means is damage is being done. There's vehicles that are being damaged. Those are the areas that are going to be impacted. Like I said, we could have given you a good view in Gravette from our WeatherBug Network camera, but unfortunately lost the connection to that and wasn't able to get that up. Now, look off to the west in Bella Vista. Let's see if we can still get that view coming out of Bella Vista. So we'll take a look here at our Bella Vista WeatherBug Network camera. Bring that up. That's looking off to the west. Let's go ahead and do a little zoom in on this here. I'm going to move the camera to the right and tilt up just a little bit. So we're able to control these cameras live on the air, which is really a key thing, because we're able to see these features of the storms. So there's appears to be that lowering. Then you got the thunder and lightning off in the distance with that thunderstorm, and the hail core is going to be passing just to the west of Bella Vista here shortly. But there's a look at the camera. Contrast is just not great right now. Not able to see, but you can see definitely the lightning starting to pick up as well. And we'll take the camera and kind of point it to the northeast just a little bit. So that gives you an idea of what's happening with that storm. Cameras are important. Storm spotters are important. They can kind of give us a good idea of what's taking place. Let's go back to the reflectivity. Another hail core popping up on the north side of Centerton. That's approaching Bentonville. I will say this. If we look at this supercell and zoomed out, it's kind of a large cluster, isn't it? Wouldn't you agree, Zach and Peyton?
Yeah.
We got to
Definitely.
What we mean by that is this is not a very small, this is not an isolated cell where it can utilize the entire environment. There's other storms that are interacting with this cell, and that might be something that's dropping that tornado potential just a little bit, not allowing a tornado to form. Yeah, the warning is still in place because there could be a circulation on the southwest side that develops. But at the moment, we just kind of have a cluster of storms. And this is all in Benton County right now that's mostly impacted. Fayetteville, Springdale, you're seeing light rain. But this is why, the models already had storms all over northwest Arkansas. That wasn't the case, what's actually happening. So that's why it's difficult to say exactly what areas are going to be impacted, who's exactly going to see the worst of the storm. Now we can tell you. And there's the baseball size hail that was reported in the Gravette area. Any storm spotters that have live streams at all?
We do have Colby and Centerton.
Okay. So we'll bring him up, and that's going to be on Weather 2. So, yeah, you can see that milky white, that bluish hue, unmistakable for that hail. It also has a little bit of a grayish hue as well. So if you're watching on our stream, knwa.com, we're providing live severe weather information. A new warning just getting out. You can hear that on the weather radio. Those are also very important, especially at night. But finally, we have a storm coming through in the daytime. Well, while that's bad, though, for people that are driving, and seriously some large hail impacting areas in northwestern and northern Benton County. So there's a look at a live stream video from Colby Ward as we're tracking these storms on this on this Thursday. Pi Day 3.14. It's a lot of storms that are out there. And you can see additional storms popping up in southwestern Washington County. Now, that's going to be a supercell that we'll have to watch south of Dutch Mills. You can even see a little bit of hail that's starting to pop up. So that probably might prompt a new severe thunderstorm warning that would be impacting more of Washington County. But this is just a giant cluster of storms. And this might be one thing that the environment did not have. All right, we'll go back to our tornado warning. Here's looks like a new update here coming out with that. So radar indicated till 3 o'clock. This is a new update. They cropped out a portion of that tornado warning. Now, this is a new storm. This is a new tornado warning that's farther west, it appears. And this is the isolated cell that's out ahead of it. So now we're starting to transition into what's called QLCS tornado potential. And this is where you get these little embedded circulations and rotations with the storms. So, yeah, that's a new tornado warning. That does not include Washington County, but that is Adair County. Then you got a severe thunderstorm warning until 2:45. That is for destructive hail. We already had that in Gravette reported. Baseball size hail. I'm sure the news crews will be heading out there. There most likely will be the damage in the Gravette area where that hail fell. And then Bella Vista now receiving that big storm as well. Let's go ahead on our Prod PC and let's bring up that Bella Vista camera in the control room, and then we'll just stay on that as we monitor the latest. But it's also, this is that tornado warning that just popped up. There's a radar indicated along with a severe thunderstorm on that cell. Let's take a look at the circulation. Yeah, there it is. You can definitely see that. That's an embedded circulation with that storm that's going to be approaching the north side of Adair County. And that also will be moving into northwest Arkansas. So we'll have to watch all these cells. This is going to be a long severe weather coverage event. And we knew that was going to be the case. So we'll continue to monitor the storms. And you can comment, by the way, on Facebook Live. We're not able to see those comments in real time right now, but we're continuing to monitor the latest situation. And I know a lot of people wondering about their individual cities and their locations, and we're doing our best to do that. And, we do need to do a storm track, Zach. It's been a while. Why don't we do a storm track on 2 cells on, first of all, we'll start off on the Benton County storm. So you can see that little bit of a circulation popping up in the Bella Vista area. So let me know when you got that storm track available. We'll go back to our mega Doppler source, and we're moving around there's that area of rotation right over the Bella Vista area. And we've got our WeatherBug network camera at Cooper Elementary looking off to the west. This would be an exact location. These rotation areas are going to be hard to spot visually. These are HP supercells, high precipitation supercells. That is kind of an issue in terms of visibility and able to see these. There's that tornado warning that does include the Pea Ridge area. Storm, obviously Pea Ridge would have a good view of the cell coming in. And so we'll take a look at that. Zach, we got a storm track on Weather 1?
Yeah, I got it right now.
All right. So we'll bring up weather 1. There's a look at the cell, and obviously that's one of the areas of the largest hail core. But we're looking at Pea Ridge going to be impacted, Lake Bella Vista experiencing that heavy rain right now. And what Zach is doing is tracking the most dangerous portion of the storm where that potential circulation is located.
Yeah, Dan, that's where the rotation is. It's right over Bella Vista, or just north of it. So definitely watching that one as the storm translate east. Still 35 miles per hour with this tornado warning, and still producing that hail. So we got the hail threat, we got that tornado threat. Still tornado warning. If you're in the path of the storm, get to your safe place right now.
Yeah, that rotation just it kind of cycles, it ramps up a little bit, and then it decreases, then it increases, and this type of environment could put down a tornado fast. So that's why the Weather Service continuing that tornado warning. Let's go to weather 2. Here's Pea Ridge. Let's look off to the west from Pea Ridge. You can see that it's just not very good visibility in terms of seeing structure, but definitely that storm approaching the Pea Ridge area, and anywhere within that, you've got that hail core along with that weak rotation. Then we have that other storm too that's approaching Adair County that eventually will make it into Washington County. Let's go ahead and we'll do a storm track on that one as well, Zach.
Yeah, we got Mega Doppler looking at that right now.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I'll get that storm track ready.
So we got Mega Doppler on weather 2. We're looking at that area of rotation, green colors. All that is moving away from the radar. The red, the green colors are moving towards. There's your area of rotation. We'll see if we start seeing brighter reds appear, which is a sign that that circulation is increasing. That's what prompted that tornado warning. There you see the areas impacted: Christie, Westville, Watts, Chewy. This is all in northern Adair County. However, with the storm tracking to the east-northeast, this is going to be one to watch because it's going to be approaching southwestern Benton County and northwestern Washington County, eventually working its way eastward, if it in fact holds together, which will be a possibility. Let's go to weather 1, and we can show you that storm track. There's the most dangerous portion of the storm. And Zach, it's moving east about 30, what did it say, 35 miles an hour?
No, I think one thing that's worth noting, this storm is traveling a bit faster.
Okay.
East about 55 miles per hour.
That makes, that sounds like the energy is moving in. So with an easterly track at 55 miles an hour, take us through that storm track.
So yeah, definitely if you're in the path of this storm, get to your safe place. Tornado warning. It is quickly moving east. So a little bit different than that storm in Benton County. Is traveling a bit quicker. So if you were in the areas of Round Hollow, public access, 2:45 p.m. Looks like a pretty rural area, but New Hope Church is going to be affecting that area around 2:53. Chance 2:55. Beyond that, Faith Chapel 2:58. So the storm is quickly making its way east, and the circulation definitely worth noting. We can see that on Mega Doppler right now. Again, currently just south of, looks like Scraper. So definitely have to keep an eye on that one.
And we can bring up some iDrive Arkansas cameras to show what people are encountering as they're driving on I-49 on the north side of Benton County. That thunderstorm producing some really heavy rain. Even if there isn't hail that's falling, there's extremely heavy torrential downpours, reducing visibility to near zero. New severe thunderstorm warning just getting issued too now. It looks like, can we bring up the Prod PC and bring up some of those iDrive cameras? So we'll do that here in just a bit. This gives you an idea of the heavy rain that's coming down. And there's a look at people driving along. Doesn't look like hail's coming down on that iDrive camera, but definitely some additional storms. And that hail core is just a little bit west of I-49, but gives you an idea of the heavy rain that's coming down. For sure. All right, going back to Mega Doppler, and let's put it in reflectivity mode, and let's see what we've got on weather. We're going to go to weather 2. And so that's that area of circulation, still a little bit of a hail core. There you see that storm moving into northern Adair County. So that's that tornado warning that Zach mentioned, or that storm that's moving a little bit quicker. All these cells are kind of congealing into a giant cluster. And so when you have like giant clusters of storms, that's where it's going to be a little more difficult to discern where tornado potential is going to be. But it looks like you've got, I don't know if you can see that, Peyton and Zach, you got that descending reflectivity core right on the leading edge of that where the circulation is increasing. It looks like on the northern edge of that tornado warning is the most likely area for that tornado potential as that storm continues to track east-northeast. Let's loop this. I want to see exactly where this is headed over time as we loop the storm moving towards the Siloam Springs area. So that gives you an idea of the storm motion. Generally in the easterly direction, but at the same time, that could be heading towards Siloam Springs a little bit more. So that's going to be something that we have to watch at that rotation, because it is going to be on the northern edge of that line. There you got that descending reflectivity core, maybe a little bit of reflectivity surge, if you will. There's a look at the loop, multiple storms popping up. But clearly the most dangerous portion of any storm is northern Benton County. That's being impacted. Look at this cell down here. This is a brand new one that's really starting to intensify. Very close to Bragg's 10 killer. That's moving towards Adair County. Right now in Cherokee County, that's also going to be impacting southern sections of Washington County. So 2 tornado warnings currently in effect. We're on streaming, knwa.com, also on Facebook Live, on multiple avenues, multiple sources that you can get your weather information. And we've got a lot of severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings, which is why we're doing coverage on television, where a lot of people are getting impacted by this. It's close to time of school being let out. And, obviously some parents that are a little bit nervous about, picking up their kids a little early. So Peyton, take us through Weather 3 and what we've got here. Wow, you can see those winds really starting to crank up.
Yeah, you can see some really strong winds, definitely shaking the camera quite a bit. Of course, this is reducing visibility, so for drivers on their after-work commute, going to be pretty hard to see. Again, not seeing any hail falling, but definitely some really strong winds.
And so this is located at Pea Ridge, obviously. Yeah. You can see the Pea Ridge Junior High School looking off to the west. It's why these cameras are so important. And you can see almost those horizontal rain curtains and just how heavy that rain is. Visibility almost reduced to nothing. And you got lightning as well. We'll see if we see any type of circulation with that. It looks like it's all outflow. It's all going in one direction towards the camera from west to east. And so that gives you an idea of that storm. All right, let's go ahead and we'll keep up. Yeah, we'll watch that here just a little bit longer. Any circulation that's approaching the Pea Ridge area? Looks like it's kind of swirling a little bit, but I think that's obviously with the bleachers and the buildings and stuff like that, a little turbulence. That's
like it might be a bit to the northwest of Pea Ridge.
A little bit northwest of Pea Ridge, a little
just northeast of Bella Vista.
Look at that hail core. The hail core is just west of Pea Ridge, so it might not be hailing now, but in a couple minutes.
All right. Yeah, tornado warning has been dropped for northern Benton County, but we do have an additional tornado warning for Adair County that is approaching northern sections of Washington County. So we still have some dangerous storms that are out there. And that circulation's really starting to ramp up a little bit more as well. And that's going to be moving into Benton County. So, and as well as northwestern Washington County. Kind of a little bit slow moving. So 2:44 in the afternoon, we have 1 tornado warning, multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and a lot of activity that's happening. I do want to record that Pea Ridge WeatherBug Network cam. Let's go ahead and we'll hit record on that as those rain curtains are really coming down. All right, so multiple storms, large hail. If you're just joining us, we've had baseball-size hail reported in Gravette, and that is one of the largest hailstones that we've seen in quite some time in the northwest Arkansas area. Now they have a new tornado warning, or they cropped it out for Cherokee County. It does include Adair County, and this is going to be on Weather 1. And so I want to bring up that information as we take a look at the very latest on that storm and the tornado warning. So there you got it. Right there goes until 3 o'clock. Radar indicated. Notice the hail is a lot smaller, so it shows you the storm is a little bit weaker. But that storm that's approaching Tahlequah, that definitely is a little more intense. You can see a large line of storms, and there's definitely a lot of fuel out ahead of these cells. So we'll watch this tornado warning just a little bit longer, make sure that doesn't start circulating. And then we're going to head and do continuous coverage on social media as these warnings are dropped, then additional storms will be coming in, and we'll continue to monitor all the latest situation. But we'll stay on until this warning expires for northwestern Washington County, and see if something else gets issued for northwestern Washington County. So a lot of activity, very busy day, multiple storms, large hail, the predominant threat. Tornado watch, in case you don't know, does go until looks like 9 o'clock, I do believe. Here's a look at, if we go to weather 2, we can take a look at the tornado watch in the area that's covered by it. So there's a look at the watch. You can see it covers all of northwest Arkansas, and they also included Boone as well as Newton and Johnson County. Now that goes until 6 o'clock for the areas of the western watch, but if we go farther east, you're going to see that goes until 9 o'clock. So still multiple storms that can produce tornadoes. It's a very active environment, multiple severe storms. All right, we'll go back to weather 3. Peyton, take us through what you got on weather 3 here.
Yeah, so you can see a little bit of hail starting to fall on Pea Ridge. Saw it bouncing off the roof. And it looks like it is moving over and now probably east of the football field now. But we do have some reports of 4-inch hail. This is in Sulphur Springs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
4-inch.
Softball size.
That's softball. Yeah. That's as big as a softball. That is destructive hail. That probably did a number. And see, earlier in the day yesterday, people were wondering where exactly that hail would fall. Well, we couldn't tell you because the storm hasn't developed yet. Now we can obviously tell you that supercell, the one that was tracking, was in northwestern Benton County. That's where the significant hail threat was. But everyone had the potential for large hail. So we're not done in Washington County. I know a lot of people wondering what's exactly going on, but we still have more storms that are going to be moving in. So, yeah, you can definitely see how that storm's starting to lessen in intensity. The winds have dropped off. The hail core is moving off to the northeast. That's the way these storms are. They move in. They dump tremendous amounts of rain, heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and also a little bit of hail, and then they move on out. So there's a look at the radar indicated tornado warning till 3 o'clock. I think the most dangerous portion of the storm is going to be on the southern tip. That's one thing we don't like to see when the cells kind of split. Do you notice that, Zach? Watching that. We'll track that and move that northeast, and there's a new storm track for you. Zach, go take us through some of those locations.
Yeah, sure, Dan. So again, this storm is moving very quickly to the east-northeast at around 55 miles per hour, and this warning is for radar indicated rotation, and it will expire at around 3 p.m. So still keeping a close eye on this. It's going to be impacting Ballards at 2:54. So again, we're in Adair County, and then Watts 2:55 p.m. Beyond that, Lake Francis 2:57 p.m. And then even further beyond that should be impacting portions of Washington County. So we're definitely tracking this storm. The tornado warning will expire at 3 p.m. But until then, Dan, the rotation doesn't seem to be all that strong to me. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I would agree. I just looked at it on Mega Doppler, and the cell is splitting, but it's looking like it's totally becoming outflow dominant. And what that means is the winds are moving all in one direction, which is basically away from the radar. Don't see any circulation in terms of towards the radar. There's a look at, if we go to Mega Doppler on weather 2, you can see what I'm talking about. No more strong circulation. There are some strong winds that are approaching the Siloam Springs area, but I don't see any tight circulation like it was earlier. And if we go to the rotation indication, you can see that it's kind of a little bit disorganized, to say the least. A little bit of rotation here and there, but we're not talking about anything super major. But again, this could ramp up real quick. So we don't want to let our guard down and say that's the end of the severe weather threat. But tornado warning does continue 10 more minutes. You can see southwest Siloam Springs. There's the area of rotation that we'll continue to watch. And there's that strong gusty wind. Now, Siloam Springs is going to have a view of that weather camera, and there it is. I Drive, Arkansas. This is looking off to the west. This is the Cherokee Casino area and the state line. There's an RDOT camera, and that gives you an idea of the winds that are starting to pick up a little bit. And then we also have a view from our WeatherBug Network camera located at Allen Elementary. Allen Elementary is a key camera because it gets all those storms that are coming into basically the southwest side of Siloam Springs. So we'll take that menu off the screen so you can see there's that storm that's approaching. And that's looking off to the southwest. So we've got it pointed right directly towards the storm. I will say this, Zach and Peyton, it's been kind of a difficult, I thought we would see a lot more structure and a lot more, visibility with these storms. Instead, it's just been kind of gray and cloudy and grungy, and that's just basically been a very low contrast.
Yeah, Dan, there's been a lot of rain, and because of that rain, I think that flood potential looks to be going up a bit. Noticed earlier, flash flood, I think advisory was issued for a few areas. So,
training storms, and these supercells are going to produce heavy rain, and there's additional rain to the west, like you mentioned. So, that is going to be a threat, and that's an important thing. We're going to transition from that severe and tornado potential and hail when the atmosphere gets overworked, but then we have that potential for heavy rain and flash flooding. And there's been multiple reports of flooding out west when the storms initially developed, dumping tremendous amounts of rain. Now we're seeing that storm continue to move eastward. Okay, on weather 2, there's a look at the new severe thunderstorm warning. So let me go ahead and we'll bring that up real quick. So that is for southwest Missouri. That's for the eastern sections of Berry County, 1.25-inch hail. Same supercell that was earlier tornado warned. Still hasn't produced anything as of concern yet, but it has been quite a hail producer. Very, very large hail, in case you haven't known. We'll bring up weather 2 here in just a second. I do want to bring this up and show the hail reports that Peyton was talking about. So there you can see that hail core and the swaths of hail. So if we look at some of these hail reports, there's a 0.8, that's nickel size. Here's a look at areas with the big hail, 4 inches, busted windows in cars, and a funnel cloud reported. Looks like some scud clouds as well. That was at 217. That was from a ham radio operator. So you do have busted windows. Knew that would be the case. There's baseballs and gravit. And then finally, one more hail report, nickel size in Knoll in McDonald County. So basically right across the border. So that hail core dumped in northwest Benton County. And then after that, it was pretty much over. And the storm started to weaken significantly. Okay, weather 2, we still have that?
Yep.
Okay, bring up a weather 2 stream.
Look at that.
There's some of the hail.
Yeah, this is near Bella Vista area. You know, that 1.25-inch hail, that golf ball to ping pong sized hail.
All right. Yeah. And what's wild is you can see the way the hail, creates basically rings, because you get super cooled water that collects on the hailstone as it's suspended, lofted in the air. I just did this not too long ago, showing the kids how hail forms. You take a blow dryer, you can suspend a ping pong ball, and more water collects on it. The heavier it is, obviously the bigger it is, the heavier it is, and then eventually it'll fall. Some of the big updrafts, though, are able to suspend those hailstones when they get really large. I do want to go back to our mega Doppler source, because I want to show you that there's that hail core that's approaching the south side of Pea Ridge. There's a severe thunderstorm warning that's associated. Definitely the hail not as big as what it was earlier, but we do have additional storms coming into Washington County, and so you might want to know what to do. Well, we've got you covered. We've actually got a safety guide here, and here's a look at it. This is on our website. All you have to do is go to knwa.com, click on the weather tab. It has all the information in one location, which is very important to get this, rapid information for severe weather. There you see the best place to take shelter from a tornado, the acronym DUCK, an emergency checklist. Peyton Langford working very hard along with Josh Weisel to put this together, and we continue to add to it more and more. Then you get to see the different types of terminology for the watch, tornado watch, meaning conditions are possible for tornadoes. The warning means rotation is indicated on radar and all that. So we're continuing to monitor. Speaking of tornado warning, looks like the warning has been dropped for Adair County, and it looks like that's coming out here really soon. I think that's going to be dropped. Correct?
Yep, looks to be dropped.
Okay, so that should disappear here shortly. And there you get to see a new severe thunderstorm warning that's issued. And now we've got Bentonville, Siloam Springs, Tahlequah for the Adair, Cherokee, Muskogee, and Sequoia counties. So we'll bring that up. Warnings are just going to continue to come out. There's the weather radio going off, the old trusty weather radio. So there's a look at this storm, and that was on the leading edge of that storm that we continue to watch. Got the band director, Caleb Pond, calling right now, but not able to answer that. But there's a look at storms that are approaching the Prairie Grove, Farmington, Lincoln area, and all of those storms. Now that tornado warning has been, is it dropped? It shows that it's still on there, but I don't believe Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler has that anymore. That should be dropped off.
Yeah, it is dropped.
I think it's
Yeah, it's
canceled.
off.
Yeah.
It will be gone soon.
Okay. So this software is probably allowing it to expire at 3 o'clock, but it's already been dropped earlier because the rotation not showing up as much. But that severe weather safety guide important. Let's go to weather 2 if we can. Here's the newest severe thunderstorm warning, and still a large line of storms. Individual cells could pop up. Those can definitely pose a tornado potential. We're not nearly done with the severe weather risk. And this, by the way, is going to produce some really heavy rain. And guess what? That's going to be right around evening commute time when people are leaving work. Already buses are leaving schools, and everything's pretty fine along the I-49 corridor in Washington County. Yeah, there is a little bit of light rain that's falling. And now we got a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been expanded. It looks like a little bit east. Let's look at this one. That just was issued now, 345, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind. So that is a base severe thunderstorm warning. And you can see the areas that are going to be impacted, which is southern Benton County, western Washington County, all the way up to about the I-49 corridor, and that's for all those additional storms. So now that that tornado warning is dropped, these cells are base severe thunderstorm warnings. We are going to return you back to programming, but we are going to continue to monitor this storm. And then we're going to do that on knwa.com, also on Facebook Live. But keep it here with your weather authority as we continue to track severe weather throughout this Thursday afternoon, March 14th. Keep it here. We'll keep you advised.
Should we turn our stuff off to conserve battery?
All right, everyone, we're back here. We're continuing to watch these storms, but really now everything's kind of congealing into a large cluster of storms. But that doesn't mean the tornado potential is zero. As you saw, several of these storms being issued under tornado warnings. Why isn't that dropping off?
I don't know.
That should drop off. I know it'll drop off at 3, but
Click out of it.
so if you want a Prairie Grove update, there is a little bit of a hail core coming and a stronger cell that's coming in. And so we're going to watch this circulation here pretty closely. When we started our severe weather coverage, the app that I used to control all the radars and all that stuff, it didn't have any of the interactive palettes loaded. So it was kind of a mess, but it ended up working after a little while. So radios are going off. So there's a look at some damaging wind potential, but on the south side of this storm, we'll have to watch for that tornado potential.
Okay, noticing something here. We're seeing some isolated development in LaFleur County.
Okay.
So that's maybe some energy flying in.
Yep. That
And-
positively tilted trough. Bentonville schools are getting buses up and going. So as of now, that hail core really went through northwestern Benton County. It barely clipped our weather coverage area and into southwest Missouri. That's the supercell that produced the massive hail. And if we go back to this, you can definitely tell the difference. See that storm? It's an isolated supercell. So that means that the wind is more organized in the storm. It's able to suspend those hailstones higher up in the atmosphere, which allows them to get a lot larger. Do we have anybody going to, we should, Sulphur Springs?
Yes.
I mean, there's did you put that in?
No, we
Teams?
do have someone going.
Okay, perfect. That's some large hail.
By the way, Dan, I do have a picture of some of the baseball or what looked like to be
Okay, you do? Okay. Yeah, we're going to take a look at that here in just a bit. What is that?
I'm gonna knock out some closed captions.
Okay, so here's a look at that circulation. And someone asked if there's a Vian, there's a little bit of rotation that's showing up. Let's see on the south side of that line. Does appear. I'm hearing myself on the stream on the IFB, so I'm going to turn that off. I think they're listening to the stream. A little bit of a delay. Okay. Turn off the microphones to conserve battery. Now, where is that picture, Wyatt? Is it on your face? Is it on Twitter?
Yeah, it's from
On X?
Rabbit. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, it's just one that my coworker sent me.
All right. When you can bring that up, that'll be good. Okay. I want to go back to the radar. Oh yeah. So we'll just bring this up right here, and you get to see it. So there's baseball size hail right there.
There's a lot of damage in the center too.
Lock it in.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. We knew that cell was going to be massive. So here's weather one. Let's do a couple storm tracks on it. So now all you're seeing is just moderate to heavy rain, 60-mile-an-hour winds, which is still strong, but that's definitely the weaker of the storms that are coming through Benton County. That other isolated cell that was a supercell is moving out of our weather coverage area. It's into Cassville, Seligman. So those areas are getting impacted, but not necessarily super major. Let's show you this line that's to the southwest here. So severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see how fast that line is moving. Looks like it's moving east at 45. So a little slower than the other one, Zach, that you were tracking. So 45. Let me draw a track along this line here so you guys get to see it. So there's a look at movement to the east-northeast, kind of just like in line with the severe thunderstorm warning. So 3:30 is going to be a half hour. It's going to be moving into the northwest Arkansas area. Tahlequah, you're done. You can you can stop watching if you want. Tahlequah is over. The cold front has moved east of Tahlequah. The storm activity's moved east of Tahlequah, and that's going to be the end of it. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If we look at Mega Doppler, there's Tahlequah. Storm's east. It's gone. You don't have anything to worry about anymore. And that's it. But here's what we got to do. We're going to do a 2-panel, guys, and we're going to continue to monitor the circulations with this because there's going to be little embedded rotations. This is where it starts getting tricky weather-wise. And there's going to be little, as the shear increases, there's going to be these little embedded circulations, guys, that we got to watch. Good old QLCS tornado potential. Whack-a-mole time. That's right. That's because these little circulations pop up and then they dissipate. And so let's see if
Do we want to switch to force spin?
well, that's going to be parallel to the line, though. I don't want to do that quite yet. I want to be perpendicular to the line.
Yeah.
And we're still in the range 4,000 feet above the ground. So Eric Leonardo, who's going to get hit? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if another tornado warning gets issued. It's not quite there yet, but anywhere along that line, if that cell starts developing, could get pretty intense. There's that 4-inch hailstone. Emergency managers reported that. And then golf balls at 2:28. So it was right before 3 o'clock that we had those storms.
I think it's fast.
Man, what is that? The discussion?
Stay up to yeah. Gotta knock out some closed captions.
That sounds like a plan. So here's what we're going to be watching along this cell. North of Siloam Springs, there's a little bit of area rotation. Green colors, rain moving towards the radar, red moving away. There's that area of rotation. Right there, it's kind of messy, but if you look at the normalized rotation, it does show up. So we're going to watch that. Matter of fact, here's what I want to do. I want to do a storm track with that storm motion. Let's see what happens here. So there's a look at, we'll have to watch that. And that's moving into southwest Benton County. And honestly, the visibility is brutal. Visibility was terrible with them, wasn't it? I mean, we saw a little bit of structure, and then that was it. We're going to have to watch this along the line right here, east of Stillwell, as it moves into western Washington County. Remember, we had that track on there on weather 1. There's a look at the track of the storm. There is not going to be another second wave tonight. I think this is the wave that comes through for northwest Arkansas. Would you agree, Zach?
Oh, I think so,
Yeah,
definitely.
I think this is the
Behind
end
this
of
cold
it.
front, atmosphere is going to be a lot more stable.
It's a lot
So,
faster.
Yeah.
I definitely think that everything is trending faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now, River Valley and Southern
Yeah.
River Valley
that
still has that potential.
might be a difference. So if that
Yeah.
front gets caught up, some more energy swings in.
Yep, exactly. So Eric Leonardo, the tornado tie is not coming off. We're still under a tornado watch. Just lost power for a second in Siloam Springs. Hey, can you take the Decatur camera, point it southwest? Let's see if we can see any type of structure with this. This is like trying to find whack-a-mole, if you will.
Yeah.
This is where it gets tricky, but this is where. So yeah, you can't see anything. We'll watch that circulation. What is the timing for, so Holiday Island and Van Buren? Van Buren County? Whoa, that's way east of us. That's going to be tough to get. Van Buren County is going to be later on tonight. We're talking after 10 o'clock, I think. So we're going to watch for these isolated cells. And like you said, we are going to need to switch. Let's do it. See this right here? This is starting to circulate a little bit near Vian. That's
You
going
wanna
to be
go to
something that we got to watch.
Fort Smith radar.
Yep, I do. Even though we're not going to get this circulation anymore, we might miss. Yeah, let's go to the Fort Smith radar because we're going to be closer to that area of rotation. Will Rogers get more severe weather? I think besides this little last bit of the line coming through, that's going to be it. Bella Vista, did you guys get any hail? Let me know if you saw any hail at all. It looked like it was maybe just a little northwest. Will there be any more tornado warnings? It's tough to click on them when the thing pops up. So it's possible, especially in southern sections of this line. There still is a little bit of area of rotation. Okay, got the new radar loaded. Let's set the storm motion from warning. Pretty strong winds, about 50-mile-an-hour winds, so that's definitely severe. You got quarter-size hail as well. No, not worried about the Decatur area anymore. This cell is definitely weakened somewhat. It still is there a little bit. There's another line that's going to produce heavy rain, but that doesn't have any hail with it. It's not even a supercell. And we'll continue to watch along the leading edge of the line. Don't see anything menacing right now. But I understand. That's fine. They're saying, sorry to ask that they're worried. See, this is an area right here where we got a balanced UDCZ, updraft, downdraft convergence zone. It's right along the leading edge of the line. There is definitely a rotation. Now, one thing we haven't looked at are the parameters, the QLCS parameters. Do we have over 30
What do you mean we
knots?
haven't been looking at them? I've been looking at them.
Okay, do we have over 30 knots?
I closed out of it. Thought I was done with it.
Let's see here.
Yeah, 40.
40. Okay, so QLCS is definitely parameters for a circulation that's going northeast.
Line
the-
normal.
The vector shear is
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got to have a line that's basically running from northwest to southeast. That would give you the best potential for tornado, which would be the southwest side of that area. So let's see. These are where the little weak spin ups happen, or spin ups. Sometimes they're not weak. Yeah, I haven't even looked at the mesoanalysis lately. I'd like to pop that up and see what we've got.
looks like the shear decreases the further southeast we go.
Yeah.
At least the 0 to 3 vector shear.
Yeah. It definitely looks like that.
Some hail and gravity.
If you go to multi-parameter, you see it better.
Is that lime sized hail?
That new one.
Yeah.
bulk shear.
This one right here. 0.3 kilometer bulk shear looks like 30, 35 knots. 35. And if we go here,
I don't know why it is.
I don't even have it loaded yet. Hold on. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So this is going to tell us if there's any type of QLCS tornado potential. First of all, you got to look at 0 to 3 kilometer cape, and that's definitely high enough.
Oh yeah.
That's over 100. No doubt about that. Also in the river valley too, a lot of 0 to 3 kilometer cape. If we go here and we look at the bulk shear, this will tell you the 0 to 3 kilometer bulk shear, which is essentially where you have the potential for tornado development. Now, it is kind of a little more parallel to the line at the moment. But if that line gets more northwest to southeast oriented, that's where we're going to have to watch it.
Little area kind of like southern Washington County.
Yeah. Right now, it's kind of a little straight north and south. And if it gusts out and it turns into a line like this, that'll move northeast. That will be favorable for a QLCS tornado potential. Here's a look at 30 knots right here. You can see the instability is almost gone. And I think once this comes through, that's it. That's going to be the end of your severe weather threat.
But again, a lot of the models kind of had this front kind of like becoming very slow along
Yeah.
LaFleur, Scott County.
Yeah,
Might get caught up and then some more energy comes in. So
possible.
it's possible.
No doubt it is. Good job on the storm tracks, Peyton. Good job on monitoring those cameras because I can't see that as we're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Need more monitors.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do a little radar tour here, and we'll show you what's going on because I know you guys are asking about who's impacted. So first of all, we got a split screen. All this is just basically a little bit of light activity. Keep an eye on that Decatur camera because that storm is coming overhead right now. So we'll look at Decatur, bring it up right here. Just rain,
Mm-hmm.
nothing super major. So it was one isolated storm that did it. That brought massive hail, but
Insane hail. 4 inches.
yeah, that's large.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one's car got smashed.
There was
There was. There's a deputy's car that
Yeah.
got smashed.
busted
Really?
windows in car. Yep. Okay, so working our way down the line. This is that area of rotation that we'll need to watch in southern Washington County. At the moment, nothing too menacing. All this is kind of dying off because this is what we call shear dominated, almost entirely shear dominated, where that's behind the line. And then you got cold pool dominated on the south end where those storms aren't going to do anything. But it's right here in this balance region that we got to watch. So new severe thunderstorm warning now just being issued. We got the storm motion for the warning. Definitely some strong winds going to be coming into southern Washington County. So Strickler going to be getting impacted. West Fork, Winslow, all those areas going to be getting some pretty strong winds. I think in Benton County, you guys are done. I think that's it. I think this storm, Central Benton County, the warnings are going to expire here really soon. In fact, that warning expires in 14 minutes and probably even sooner.
You have that back end one though, trying to that one near,
Yeah. Madison County hasn't had any activity except for this little isolated storm activity. So when the cap was really weak, and Peyton mentioned this, when the cap's really weak, what it allows is storms to go up everywhere. So they're not isolated, they're not in one specific spot. And that's what helps lessen the severe weather potential if that cap goes up everywhere. Where you have isolated storms that popped up initially, that's where the hail was the largest.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's why we saw all that clustering.
Yeah. Not going to quite do that yet, Allison, because we still have that QLCS tornado potential on the southern end of the line. It's not quite there, but I've seen it where it's ramped up pretty quick.
I think that's the area to watch.
Yeah.
Washington County.
And also these isolated cells that are out ahead of the line. You can see them right here.
Yeah, that activity in LaFleur County is starting to ramp up, but it's still nothing severe yet.
Here's a look at, so this is the look at Mount Sequoia looking west. And yeah, you can just see that tremendous rain that's coming. It's about to downpour, and it's going to be right about the time people are driving around.
Yeah.
Thankfully, though, the hail is not a concern. We're not looking at any super sizable major hail.
So if you plan on going on Interstate 49 in the next hour, I would definitely rethink that. You don't want to be out in that rain.
Maybe even a half hour from now.
Yeah, half hour.
Yeah.
So if you can leave work early,
Just started raining in Fayetteville. Well, it's about to really start raining. Okay, that's a good idea. Madison County, let people know that the courthouse is available for a storm shelter if needed. So that's in Madison County, probably in the Harrison area.
that's good. Yeah, because if you live in a mobile home or something like that, definitely.
Let's show you some of these cameras and the heavy rain that's coming down. So it's not quite at Fulbright yet. We do have Arkansas Children's Northwest. There you get to see that heavy core coming in. Those are some pretty strong winds. Peyton, located at P Ridge, man.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
pretty strong.
Those are intense.
It was hailing sideways.
Siloam Springs is in the clear. You're done. Trees are cracking from the wind. So Siloam is clear. That's it. Huntsville has the courthouse. Yep. So yes, tornadoes are going to be done for the Bentonville Centerton area. There's one last leading edge of the line, but I don't see it doing anything. Nope.
No. Yeah.
Not the raging supercells that all the models showed.
Yep. Well, we had one.
Yeah, we had one. We had one. Wyatt, good point. We did have one.
But I think the cold front was just too fast.
Yeah, and the cap was too weak, where
Yeah.
it just went up everywhere. So Decatur, Gentry, in the clear. Colby nearby. He must be. Decatur and Gentry is in the clear, so it's pretty much over.
Yeah, where is Colby at? Let's see.
Winds are picking up. That makes sense because, we've got it coming in. There's a look at the Graduate Hotel. And then we got Mount Sequoia.
Colby is in Fayetteville.
Well, that makes sense. Things are dying. Pouring in Prairie Grove. Oh, lightning struck the neighbor's backyard in Gentry.
Man.
Farmington, winds are bad. So we've got our other camera too.
Got a
That's
fresh.
at Yeah, I got a new track.
on the heavy rain. You can see it about to enter Fayetteville.
All right.
In about 3 minutes, it's going to start really coming down.
Coming along 49. Nope.
Where is
Should look at some of those
There it
traffic
is.
cameras.
Yeah.
Here's Kessler. Here's the wind that's really starting to pick up. Yeah, that's the leading edge of the core. Any advice on leaving from Fayetteville to Dallas? You're going to be encountering this heavy rain. I would wait. Ooh, did you see that?
No.
Oh, awesome.
Not to mention.
Oh, hey, stop the recording on some of those cameras. It's over.
Not to mention for the Dallas area, they haven't even gotten their portion of this line of storms yet. They're going to get theirs forming in the next 2 to 3 hours or so.
That'll be the tornadoes, I'm sure. Yeah.
Just the one.
If you want, one of us can go.
Here
on the
comes the wind.
parking deck and see.
I wouldn't with lightning.
Oh, that's true.
That parking deck's a little
Yeah, you go right ahead.
little
I'm
iffy.
not going back up there.
Yeah, I'm not going back.
Either one of y'all want to come up.
Nope.
Nope. They're
That's
not
all
going back up.
you.
Man, look at that wind picking up. Pretty intense winds. And that's on the leading edge of the line. So that's where that severe thunderstorm warning. So I would not be surprised in the least if we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that gets issued.
Have they said anything on the chat?
Nah.
I might run out there here in a moment. Just see.
I mean, they're just
how it is up there.
continuing the severe thunderstorm warning right now, but
There's going to be a
That's it.
new one, I bet. Reed Timmer was in Solomon Springs. Well, that's where that supercell was. That was where the best activity was.
Gorilla Hill.
I mean, 4-inch. It's pretty
Yeah.
sizable. Look at the shelf cloud rolling in. Oh, hit record on that. We can at least get that. Still not great structure.
Yeah, it's pretty high up.
Go back to Kessler. That's whipping.
What, to record it?
No.
Okay, I was about to say. Man,
So, yeah, the wind is pretty crazy. And those are those storms. But it's not tornado potential. It's just strong, gusty winds. Prairie Grove, really windy. Wind is no joke. I know. That's why we're on the storms. There's the leading edge of the line.
see some of the winds are. Whoa. Of course, that's pretty high up,
Yeah.
but still, it's pretty strong.
Strong winds in West Fayetteville. So that's the leading edge of the line. The wind is probably going to come before the rain starts with the gust front. Look at the Graduate Hotel. This is going to be shaking around a little bit. Take that and tilt that up just a smidge. You have a new track on that, Zach?
Yeah, I was just seeing how
Do it,
how the
yeah.
hail threat died down.
Big time, huh?
Yeah. So usually what happens, we get a line, the hail threat goes down,
Oh, yeah.
transitions into a more of a straight line wind. But with this QLCS,
A wind maker.
wind maker.
So we're monitoring. This looks like maybe a little bit of an isolated cell that's coming into Crawford County. We'll have to watch that because that has one of the larger hail cores right there. And you can see that near Marble City. So we come back to here and we'll look at this. There's a little bit more of a hail core, and you can see that cells a little bit more, but then definitely some strong winds. People saying no joke with these winds.
You can hear it coming down pretty good.
Yeah, it's coming
Yep.
down to Fayetteville.
Here we go. It hit our studio. No, no tornado. These are just straight line winds that are coming through. Don't see any circulation along the leading edge of the line. But let's go ahead and we'll go to the Graduate Hotel. Yeah.
Should go out there, see if it's windy.
I have my camera. You can try it.
Winds are crazy. Look at that.
Not on the top of it, but I can
Right.
Just still rain. I don't think there's going to be any hail. If there is, it's going to be like pea-sized hail in the Prairie Grove area. Yeah, those are some strong winds. You can hear it.
Look at the velocity. See what those
Yeah.
winds are doing.
Wow.
Probably base velocity, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look at that door.
Yeah, go look at that door. Hey, if you want, do you want to do a stream
Sure.
out that one?
40.
Okay, so here I'll invite you. Take a picture of that.
All right. See if I can-
Safe to say that's 40 all the way down.
Can you copy that? Oh, nice. That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
This is it's pretty sus. You know, you got a slight descending reflectivity core.
Yeah. It's
know, a
definitely
couple of
starting to
nubs or
gust
something?
out. Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hail was hitting Fayetteville by Washington Regional. Now we're talking probably small hail. Sounds like go look out the door. I know that's the best way to do it.
Not on top of the parking deck, that's for sure.
We're going to do a live. We're gonna show you a live video here.
Cool graduate.
Yeah. Man, those winds are crazy.
Go down a little bit, see if I can see any. Oh, I'm not even moving it.
Oh no, really? So that means that the camera is gonna be
Off,
off
like for the presets.
the presets.
Maybe not. Go
No,
back to normal.
no, I don't think so.
So I can see any
Or
hail.
maybe if you move it towards the wind. Looking due
Oh, there
west.
is a little bit of hail.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, adding you.
Hey, we
Pretty crazy.
yeah, the winds
Oh,
are pretty
excuse me.
good. It doesn't feel as crazy as it was just a second ago, but you can hear some people were caught off guard by it.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
screaming, huh?
Yeah, I would definitely get indoors, especially with this lightning risk. But here's a look at what it looks like on Dixon. Tin roof is straight forward to the left, and then the art center is on the right. And you can see some people running to try and get shelter inside right there. Yeah, Dan, a few minutes ago, I was just looking out here and there's some stuff flying around. We lost signal over here with some of the dish things, or some of the dish things, but there's stuff flying around and there's a bit of hail.
So far, no rotation to prompt tornado warning potential. It's something we're watching, but just remember, it doesn't take just a tornado to do damage. You can have a lot of damage from straight line winds and a larger swath of damage too. So maybe not quite as intense, but still, you have EF0 potential damage, 65 to 85 mile an hour winds. There's the new warning that's coming out.
Yeah. Another thing to point out, you can see there's quite a bit of lightning off in the distance.
Oh, that's a new cell that's severe warned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way out ahead of the line. So there you get to see a new severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued, and another one that's been issued for the eastern edge of this line. So 2 warnings coming out all at the same time. How big was that hail?
Whoa.
Are you seeing any hail?
Right now on the deck, no hail. There was a little bit earlier. We got
Yeah,
the
so there's a severe thunderstorm warning. Let me bring that up full real quick.
Go in
winds
the
are
parking garage and look towards the other side. Like it might be on the other side of the building.
Hey, if you want, our conference room, Josh.
yeah.
Go on the north side of the conference room. Go out that door on the balcony that faces north, and you should be able to see the wind whipping through Dixon,
Okay.
and are able to stay dry. Hopefully.
We'll definitely check that out.
Okay. Yeah, just walk down the hall straight, and then go to the conference room, and then walk out the door out there. parking deck would be good too. He gets soaked though, probably, and struck by lightning maybe.
As you stand in the middle.
Yeah. Hail hitting Springdale. See, right about the time kids are letting out. There's a power surge that we just had. I felt that. So any rotations, just got to always watch this every radar update. Nothing really there. Maybe a little bit showing up. Yeah, those are all power rotation. I mean, those are all power surges. You
Hit
can hear
that.
them bump.
That
Yeah,
one in Carroll
power call.
County is worth watching.
Is
for,
it?
for the rotation?
Yeah.
because
It is.
it's definitely more line normal to that vector shear.
It is.
As
Yeah,
it
you're
kind of
right.
tries to lift northeast.
You're right. Lights
Closer.
frickering
More
in
of concern.
Springdale. Lost power in Eureka Springs. Power's out in Farmington. Power out in East Fayetteville. Man, there's been some wicked winds with this. Okay, Josh, now we got you. Turn that phone sideways.
We got quite a bit of lightning, and also there was a metal sign that was blown over here, and there's
Oh,
also
yeah.
quite a bit of ponding, as you can see there.
See, that's a good view where you can really sense the westerly winds coming in and still stay dry. So that's looking on the north side of the Dixon building.
And this is where our flood risk came in, is because of these heavy rainfalls.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. It said the hail was interesting, not round. The shape was long and thin. That shows you have real turbulent updrafts, along with some super cooled water that was sticking to it pretty quick. But just let me tell you who's out of the woods. Basically, who's in the clear. You're still seeing rain in western Benton County, but it's pretty much over. Josh, I'm gonna put you on standby here just real quick. So I take this full so people can see. Here's a look at western Benton County. Done. Bella Vista, heavy rain, but done. Pea Ridge done. I-49 done. Corridors done. I-49 south of Springdale getting heavy rain, but notice the back edge of the storm. Once that comes through, that's it. It's over. That's going to be the end of the severe weather risk. The atmosphere is overturned, and that's going to be it. Working our way south, not going to be it for the River Valley. There are some isolated storms that are popping up potentially. We've got cells that are developing west of Stigler and north of Salisaw that we'll have to watch. And if those remain isolated, we'll have to watch that pretty close.
Hey, Dan, we're getting some reports of some power outages.
Yeah.
You want me to get that up on Weather 3?
Yeah, let's do that. That's a good idea. In fact, we had lost power in Farmington, as someone reported.
Oh, Pay's got it up. All right, it's Weather 2. Let me refresh it.
Yeah, actually getting some real rain. It is. It's a downpour.
Not much.
Well, it has to. It takes a little while for it to update. So here's a look at. Bring up Weather 3. I want to put those up at the top instead of the bottom.
Yeah.
So winds have died down considerably. Wait, that's Weather 2, Zach.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad. Here's Weather 2. 2 people out, but I think that's going to go up. And then you got 552 customers without power.
Whoa! Did you see that?
That was a big lightning strike.
Did you?
Cloud to ground.
Yeah, I got it on video. It looks like it hit the top of that apartment complex.
Nice. Any rumble?
Yeah, almost instant. Wasn't too loud, but I got it on video. We might be able to see that later in the replay.
Okay, cool. Oh, there's the rumble right there. So yeah, power's out in East Fayetteville. Cane Hill, not quite in the clear, but getting close. Let me go back to Mega
Got
Doppler.
a new severe storm warning.
Okay. Power's out in East Fayetteville. Just had an uprooted tree in Sonora.
It's that line that's out ahead of it.
Yeah. East power out. Oh, you know what? Watch this. We'll have our Gaither Mountain Weather Bug Network camera where you can see that cell, that storm. Windy. Winds just hit Elkins. Yeah, Solemn Spring getting some pretty gusty winds, but the winds are starting to die down. It's always on the leading edge of the line, and then shortly after that, you get the strongest winds. More people have power out than just two. That's not, something's not right here. Yeah, that takes a while to update. So no second round tonight. Nope, that's going to be it. I don't think there's a second round. Now, the River Valley is going to see another round because they haven't seen a round yet. Saw that lightning on my stream and out the front window. Well, but here's the deal. Where are you at, Abby? Because when I mean in the clear, I'm talking about, yeah, you're getting the stratiform rain and you're getting the winds, but it's along the leading edge of the line that the worst of the storm is. So I don't know exactly where you're at, Abby, but the clear is like Gravit, Decatur. If we bring up a Gravit weather bug net or the Decatur weather bug network camera, you can even see some clearing off to the west. And look, the winds
I
aren't
like that.
nearly as strong. Yeah.
Already calming down in Fayetteville.
So there you go. So it's just along the leading edge of the line that's the worst of the winds. Power looks like it's about to go out in Springdale.
What about it?
We'll have to watch that storm that's in Carroll County, eastern Carroll County. Peyton, you're looking at that.
Yeah, definitely looking interesting. Some weak rotation, pretty broad.
Yeah.
We'll go up in tilts, just higher up in the storm. Yeah.
So if you're just
Pretty
joining on
sucks.
here, we had a pretty significant line of storms come through. A lot of reflectivity that showed some heavy rain, but not necessarily tornado potential. We did have a couple of tornado warnings. The supercell, isolated supercell that was in northern Benton County, prompted that tornado warning. Now we're getting straight line winds, so it is windy. Winds are going to pick up 60, 70 miles an hour, knocking down trees, knocking down power lines, creating definitely sporadic power outages. But the line is moving out of northwest Arkansas and out of Benton County and Washington County. But still some heavy rain. That's going to be a threat. This is definitely some really heavy rain, but the storm is definitely a lot weaker now in the Benton County area. Still another cell that's out ahead of it in Carroll and Madison County. Madison County still going to get the winds. That's why that severe thunderstorm warning continues. And then you got severe thunderstorm warnings for that area just to the east of Tomahawk, as well as Vian and Salisaw. And so we're going to watch those two. I know it shows two, and yet we have all these people saying that the power is out.
Right.
It seems to be a little slow to update.
Got a fresh storm track on that line.
Nice. All
Carroll
right.
County, when you're ready for it.
Fresh storm track. There you go. So that's the eastern edge of the line. That's the one that's isolated. That's something we got to watch as it moves into Boone County.
One thing worth noting here is the hail size looks to be a bit bigger. So that kind of makes me think it's more of maybe trying to become isolated.
Yeah.
Maybe a split coming here,
Oh, look at that.
potentially. Yeah, that's up the Floor County
Fort
stuff.
County. Yeah.
And that atmosphere is primed.
For
Mhm.
severe weather. Yeah.
Uncapped.
But is the vector shear not quite that high?
I mean, it's 30, but nowhere near perpendicular.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, see the storm motion. Yeah, never mind. Weak sauce.
Could still see some
And
hail,
you can
though.
see how the storms are kind of struggling to develop. And
Yeah.
that's because you have the weakening. You just don't have a whole lot of forcing. That's
Mhm.
the forcing that we were
Yeah.
mentioning and talking about.
Oh, we're here. There's an accident in Bentonville.
Okay.
Not surprising. All right. So what do we got? What do we know? is northbound,
Uh-huh.
right near 86. So mile marker 86.8, impacting the left shoulder. Go here. Go ahead and give you an eye drive
Pallets and bring it
view
up.
on that.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
looks
That's
like
a
they
BMW. too.
Hydroplane.
looks like they hydroplaned.
So it's gonna be weather 2, right?
In that
Yeah.
corner kitchen.
Oh
There you go.
boy.
That's BMW.
That's not
too,
good.
by the looks of it.
Hope everyone's okay with that.
That is northbound.
Yes, northbound near 86. Exit 86. Mile marker 86.8.
So that's just north of Highway 102.
Yeah.
So it gives you an idea where that's at.
It's just before you get off the exit for Peter Ridge,
Mm-hmm.
if you ever decide to go there.
Exit 88. Oh, there's a lot of people in P Ridge. By the way, the first time they changed that intersection, it messed me up so bad
Yeah.
because I would turn and go before the underpass and then turn right, and it doesn't let you turn right anymore.
Yeah.
I was
That's
like,
weird.
what?
Yeah, it took us a couple of tries whenever we were heading back from events.
The tornado watch will likely be canceled before 9 o'clock. They just haven't done it yet, but there will probably be a cropping out of the tornado watch in parts of northwest Arkansas. Now, we will have the newest severe weather risk. Now, keep in mind, this probably won't account for all of the additional activity that's
Tornado
potentially
warning in
popping up.
Ozark. So southwest Missouri
Okay.
to south of Springfield.
Oh, that's not coverage.
On that line. No, that's
Oh,
out.
oh yeah, no, no.
You were thinking Ozark in the River Valley?
Yeah, a different
Yeah,
Ozark.
yeah.
Different.
That's why I said south of Springfield.
It's close.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple things. We got the new risk that was updated at 3 o'clock. We haven't shown this yet, but there's the tornado potential. No more hatched area. That's been removed. Then we have the damaging wind threat. That might need to be upped. And then you got the hail threat. Anywhere east, those storms still have the potential to produce hail. But keep in mind, this doesn't have all the storm activity that we saw already. So there's going to be a dramatic change to this risk at 8 o'clock tonight. So there's a look at the tornado watch. It still is in effect. There's the tornado warning that Peyton was talking about. This is south of Springfield. If you look at the line, it makes sense because that's, hey, look at how the line is oriented north, west to southeast. You see that, Peyton?
What?
Look at how
Yeah.
it's oriented northwest to southeast. And,
Oh,
yep,
yeah.
there it
It's
is.
pretty perpendicular.
Shear vector is perfect for that.
That could end up being a QLCS tornado.
And then around here, not really much.
Nope.
So, yeah, things are definitely starting to wind down. I know it was definitely an intense line that came through, but things are definitely winding down. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this Facebook Live. I know we got a lot of people on here. We are still seeing rain, but at this point, we got to kind of organize and get ready for the shows.
Yep.
And I know we have a lot of people still on here. Here's what we'll do. We'll let the radar run just a few more minutes where you guys will be able to watch that. But I don't expect any more television coverage in the near term just because we have severe thunderstorm warnings, but they're kind of base severe thunderstorm warnings. So we'll watch those isolated cells. Huntsville, you're still going to be getting some storms. We don't have that weather camera. That went down. Someone said, look at Gaither Mountain. There's the cells that are approaching. That's looking off to the west, northwest. So there's those isolated cells. They're severe for northern Newton County. But yeah, that kind of does it. So
Yeah.
all right. So that covers it. Covers the storm. We're still watching the radar in the River Valley, and we'll continue to keep you updated. But if anything turns warned, or maybe the tornado potential starts ramping up again, we'll let you know about it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Appreciate it. Thank you, Zach, Peyton, Josh, Wyatt. Y'all rock. We'll catch you guys later. Power's back on. Good deal.
Good deal.
Yeah, let us know about those power outages. I doubt that even shows up still.
No.
Hit refresh.
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
okay.
All right. So
Real quick
one last thing.
before we say another last thing.
Poweroutage.us. So Madison County, 1,000 now. Washington County, almost 4,000 now.
So that makes sense. Yeah.
Benton County, less than
563.
563. Carroll County, 48. Everyone else should have power. But Madison County is where most of the people, well, relative to the population of the county. But we got 6,000 now.
It updated,
Yeah.
obviously. So that's important. New severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued for this line right here. That is going to impact, boy, that's going to be some heavy rain, South Washington County.
Yeah.
That's going to be where some flooding potential is going to be. Prairie Grove holding the buses. What a tricky time. Have that right during schools being let out, right when people are leaving work, evening commute. We still have rain that's going to be impacting the river valley during the evening commute. So, all right, thanks for watching, guys. God bless, and we'll continue to keep you updated on severe weather. And of course, we have the newscast tonight. And if something, pops up severe and worse, then we'll let you know about it. Keep it here with your weather authority for the latest severe weather information. Bye.